Welcome to the story. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and support me. Adrian stepped cautiously into the ancient ruins, the air thick with a blend of earth and mystery. He had explored countless forgotten places, but this one felt different. Each cracked stone whispered secrets of a bygone era, and every shadow seemed to pulse with life. He held his breath, his heart racing with both fear and excitement. Somewhere within these crumbling walls lay a power that could change everything. As he ventured deeper, the architecture transformed, ornate carvings decorating the walls like frozen whispers of magic. It was in a dimly lit chamber, lit only by the faint glow of phosphorescent moss, that he found it, the Eye of the Void. The artifact hovered above an ancient altar, its surface swirling with a dark, mesmerizing energy that seemed to draw him in. Adrian felt an inexplicable connection, as if the eye recognized him. He stepped forward, the air crackling with anticipation. As he reached out, the eye flared to life, revealing visions of worlds beyond imagination, some vibrant and thriving, others darkened by shadows of despair. And then, amidst the kaleidoscope of realities, he saw it, an impending apocalypse. Cities crumbled, skies darkened, and an insatiable darkness spread like a plague. Adrian staggered back, the weight of the knowledge crashing down on him. He couldn't just stand by, he had to act with a determined heart. He resolved to traverse these worlds, seeking allies to thwart the dark force that threatened existence itself. His journey began in the vibrant realm of Eldoria, where magic drummed through the air like a living pulse. Tall, crystalline towers circled against a backdrop of endless blue sky. Here he sought Lyra, a mage renowned for her command over elemental magic. After days of searching, he found her in a hidden grove, surrounded by swirling motes of light. "Adrian," she greeted, her voice smooth like silk, "I felt your arrival before I saw you. What brings you to my sanctuary?" He explained the eye and the doom it foretold. Lyra listened intently, her expression shifting from curiosity to alarm. "The eye is a powerful artifact," she said, her brows furrowing. "If it falls into the wrong hands, we must protect it." They joined forces, forging a bond grounded in urgency and shared purpose. As they prepared to journey to the next world, they were joined by Thorn, a rogue warrior from a dystopian future where survival was a daily battle. Thorn's whole world was a stark contrast to Eldoria. Shadows crept through the remnants of civilization, and danger lurked around every corner. Adrian found Thorn in a grimy tavern surrounded by flickering holograms and the low hum of machinery. The rogue's demeanor was rough, but his eyes held a glimmer of hope. After a tense negotiation and a display of the eye, Sevision's Thorn agreed to join their cause. We were going to need every hand we can get," Adrian told his new ally. "The darkness is cunning, and it won't stop until it gets what it wants." Their final ally emerged from a different realm entirely, Estra, a scientist from a highly advanced civilization where technology intertwined with magic. Adrian first met her in a sleek laboratory filled with screens that displayed complex data streams and holographic models of dimensional spaces. "Time and space are not fixed," Estra explained, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "With the right tools, we can manipulate them, but we must be careful. The consequences of our actions could be catastrophic." With their team assembled, they began their journey across dimensions, visiting realms that ranged from serene to chaotic. Each world had its own challenges, and Adrian found himself relying on the strengths of his companions more than ever. They faced trials that tested their resolve and unity, and through it all, they began to forge a familial bond. In one world, they encountered a powerful storm that threatened to tear apart the very fabric of reality. Lyra harnessed the elements, calming the tempest with a grace that left Adrian in awe. In another, they found themselves in a barren wasteland where Thorn's survival skills kept them one step ahead of marauding factions. Astra's knowledge of technology saved them from traps set by those who would use the eye for their own gain. But as they traveled, whispers of the dark force grew louder. They learned that a malevolent entity sought the eye to unleash chaos, feeding off the very energy of the worlds they visited. Each vision Adrian glimpsed through the eye showed the darkness gaining strength and insatiable hunger threatening to consume everything in its path. Their journey culminated in a confrontation with one of the dark force's minions in a desolate landscape where the sky bled crimson. As the creature emerged, A twisted amalgamation of shadows and hatred, the team sprang into action. Adrian felt the eye sense power surge within him, and he realized they were on the precipice of a fight that would define their destiny. In the heat of battle, Thorn fought valiantly, his blade cutting through the darkness. Lyra summoned the elements, her spells illuminating the battlefield. Adrian channeled the eye's energy, but he struggled to maintain control. The dark minion retaliated, its dark tendrils grasping at the very essence of their resolve. Stay focused. Lyra shouted, her voice cutting through the chaos. We were stronger together. Adrian remembered their bond, the trust they had forged with renewed determination. He unleashed a burst of light from the eye, pushing back the darkness. The minion shrieked, faltering under the combined strength of their power. It disintegrated into a cloud of shadows, leaving only silence in its wake. But their victory was bittersweet. They realized the dark force was far from defeated. Adrian felt the burden of responsibility weigh heavily on his shoulders. They had bought themselves time, but at what cost? As they regrouped, the reality of their task settled in. The dark force was relentless, and they had only just begun their fight. Each ally carried their own scars, their resolve hardening with the knowledge of what lay ahead. Adrian felt the weight of their expectations and the gravity of their mission. They needed to press on. But the cost of their journey was becoming clearer. Determined, they forged ahead into the unknown, knowing that the greatest battle was yet to come. Adrian and his allies stood at the threshold of the next phase of their journey, their determination steeled by the confrontation with the dark minion. The path ahead was shrouded in uncertainty, but they had seen too much to turn back now. With the eye of the void illuminating their way, they moved through the shifting dimensions, each realm more dangerous than the last. Their next destination was a realm known as the Shadowed Vale, a place where the dark force thrived, feeding off fear and despair. The air felt heavy with an oppressive darkness, as if the very atmosphere conspired to drain their hope. As they stepped into this new world, the ground beneath them pulsed with a malevolent energy, and shadows danced at the edges of their vision. Stay close, Adrian warned, sensing the shift in the environment. Trust in each other, no matter what we face. The team ventured deeper into the vale, navigating a labyrinth of twisted trees and thorny vines that seemed to reach out, clawing at their skin. Whispers echoed through the air, seductive and sinister, attempting to sow seeds of doubt within their mind. Each ally grappled with their own fears, and Adrian could feel the strain pulling at their unity. "Don't listen to them," Thorn muttered, his eyes narrowing as he glanced around. "They want to divide us." They pressed on, determined to find the heart of the darkness. Lyra's magic flickered like a candle in the wind, illuminating their path as they approached the clearing. In its center stood a stone obelisk, pulsating with dark energy. This was the source of the Vale's power, a conduit for the dark force to manipulate the minds of those who dared to enter. "This is it," Strath said, her voice barely above a whisper. "If we destroy this, we can weaken the dark force significantly." Adrian nodded, but as they moved closer, a wave of shadows surged forth, coalescing into a monstrous form, a guardian of the obelisk, its eyes burning with hatred. It towered over them, dark tendrils writhing like serpents. "Prepare yourselves," Adrian shouted, raising the eye high. A beam of light erupted from its center, striking the guardian. The creature howled, recoiling, but quickly regrouping, lashing out with its shadow. Lyra and Thorn charged forward, their weapons ready. Thorn's blade clashed against the guardian's dark tendrils, while Lyra conjured a barrier of elemental magic to shield them. The energy crackled in the air, illuminating their desperate struggle. "Keep it distracted," Adrian urged. "I need to reach the obelisk." He sprinted toward the stone, feeling the pressure of the guardian's gaze upon him. Each step felt like wading through thick mud, the darkness attempting to drag him down. As he reached the base of the obelisk, he could feel its energy thrumming, a siren sense call, trying to pull him in. The eye pulsed in response, its light battling the encroaching shadows. "Adrian, hurry," Astrasa's voice cut through the chaos. Drawing on every ounce of willpower, Adrian placed his hands on the obelisk. The darkness surged around him, but the eye's energy wrapped around him like a protective shield. He could feel the echoes of countless souls, their despair feeding the dark force. He channeled the power of the eye, pushing back against the malevolent influence. As the light intensified, the guardian roared in fury, its form wavering, as if it might disintegrate under the pressure. Thorn and Lyra fought valiantly, their combined efforts distracting the creature long enough for Adrian to concentrate fully on the obelisk. Together, Adrian shouted, summoning his allies, "We have to strike at the same time." Lyra unleashed a torrent of elemental energy while Thorn made one final, desperate lunge at the Guardian. Their attacks coordinated with Adrian's surge of light, a blinding wave that shattered the darkness, enveloping them. The obelisk crumbled, the shadows evaporating like mist under the sun. With a final agonized scream, the Guardian dissipated, leaving only silence in its wake. Adrian collapsed to his knees, exhausted but victorious. "Is it over?" Lyra panted, her hands trembling from exertion. "For now," Astra replied, surveying the remnants of the obelisk. "But the dark force will not give up easily. We must be prepared for what comes next." Adrian nodded, the gravity of their mission weighing heavily on him. They had dealt a blow to the darkness, but its presence still loomed, ever watchful. As they exited the shadowed veil, the landscape shifted, revealing the next dimension they would confront, a realm of infinite reflections where every choice led to a different outcome. The air shimmered with possibility, but it felt like walking into a web, each thread a potential trap laid by the dark force. "Stick together," Adrian reminded them as they stepped through the shimmering portal. "We cannot afford to lose sight of each other in this play." The moment they crossed over, they were met by a kaleidoscope of versions of themselves, alternate realities playing out in front of them, each reflecting their choices and fear. Adrian watched as shadows of his past self wandered aimlessly, lost in regret. "Don't look too closely," Astra cautioned. "These reflections can ensnare your mind." But Adrian found himself drawn to one version of himself, a version that had embraced darkness, power coursing through him. He could feel its allure, whispering promises of strength and control. "Focus," Adrian Lyra's voice broke through his reverie. "We must find the center of this realm before it consumes us." Shaking off the spell of the reflections, Adrian led the way through the labyrinth of mirrored paths. They navigated through shifting realities, facing manifestations of their fears, each a test of their resolve. As they ventured deeper, they encountered a figure cloaked in shadow, a manifestation of the dark force, more powerful and cunning than any they had faced before. Its voice slithered through the air, wrapping around them like a vice. "You seek to defy fate," it taunted, eyes glowing with malice. "You are but echoes in this realm, bound by your own choices." "Enough," Adrian shouted, stepping forward, the eye of the void glowing defiantly in his grasp. "We will not be your pawn." The dark entity laughed, a sound that chilled Adrian's sound bones. "Then let us see how strong your bonds truly are." It unleashed a wave of dark energy that fragmented the very fabric of the reality around them. Adrian felt the connection with his allies falter, each of them momentarily drawn into their own mirrored nightmare. "Stay strong," he shouted, reaching out mentally to each of them, recalling their shared battles and triumphs. "We can't." As the darkness clawed at their minds, Adrian focused on the eye, channeling its power not just for himself, but for his ally. Slowly, one by one, they broke free from the shadows, their spirits reigniting as they remembered their purpose. Together, they formed a barrier against the darkness, the eye's energy swirling around them like a protective cocoon. The dark entity howled in rage, feeling the power of their united front. With renewed strength, they charged at the dark force, each ally lending their magic and might. Thorn's blade shone with determination, Lyra summoned a storm of elemental fury, and Astra unleashed a barrage of technological energy. Adrian focused the eye's power, guiding their combined energies toward the dark force. As their forces collided, a brilliant explosion of light enveloped them. The dark entity screamed as it was consumed by the very shadows it had wielded, unraveling before their eyes. Breathless and shaken, they stood together amidst the remnants of shattered reflection. The darkness had been vanquished, but Adrian felt the weight of what lay ahead. The eye of the void pulsed gently, a reminder of the vast challenges still to come. "We have made it through," Adrian said, panting, looking at his allies, their expressions a mix of relief and resolve. "For now," I replied, glancing at the swirling portal before them, "but the real test awaits us." They stepped through, ready to face whatever lay ahead. As they traversed the threshold into the next realm, Adrian felt the eye's energy surge within him, a beacon of hope against the encroaching darkness. Each of them had faced their fears, forged bonds, and emerged stronger, but the final confrontation awaited. This time, they would not just be fighting for survival. They would be fighting for the future of all worlds. The next dimension shimmered into view, a vibrant tapestry of colors and energy. Adrian could sense the raw power pulsing beneath the surface, a force that could either save them or spell their doom. The eye glowed brighter than ever, guiding them toward the heart of the mystery. As they prepared for the unknown challenges ahead, Adrian felt a sense of purpose solidify within him. They were no longer just a group of allies. They were a united force, bound by their determination to protect the multiverse from the dark force that sought to unravel it all. The journey was far from over, but together they would confront the darkness and reclaim the light.